Alright, so good old Lowe's. I go to the hobby and project section. You can see these little brackets. I love these. They got all kinds of weird stuff. And here's the actual brackets that I'm going to be using. You can bend these, you can do all kinds of stuff. So, alright, let's get to it. Alright everybody, so I have done some upgrades to the lighting. And that's what we're going to talk about today real quick. I want to show you guys the top view. I used to have a lid on here. I am going to put a lid on back on top. I did have to take a few things out. It used to be where the lights were down about, I'd say about 2 inches below this, and I used to have a lid on it to keep like all the dust out and everything. But I did this so that the lights are at a certain height off the top of the water. Now what we're looking at obviously is two Radion XR15 G4 Pros, and these are the Reefbrite, as you can see right here. These are the Reefbrite, I believe they're called Slimlines. They're individual bulbs. So this is a 48-inch high output T5, and this is a 48-inch high output T5. These, I forget what they are for retail. They are kind of pricey for a single bulb T5 fixture, but as you can see, they do all the work for you. You don't have to wire anything. You don't have to hide the ballast. They come in this nice stainless steel housing, and it makes things pretty easy. Now, you saw in the beginning how I showed you guys those little clips that I use. I use these on a lot of things. So, as you can see here, all I did was I used a little self-tapping screw. And here's that metal bracket. This is that, it's a metal bracket that's got lots of little holes in it, and you can bend it, position it any way you want. So all I did was do a self-tapping screw, shot it into the side, and then you can see right here, I just took two little stainless steel wood screws and then boop, right in the side there. That's it, that's all it was. I measured it so that it was 3/4 of an inch off each end, and you can see here, the gap really doesn't matter from left to right because, you know, the T5s cover a lot. But you can see there's that side and that side. You guys know me, I am very precise when it comes to this kind of stuff. Everything turned out, look at that, nice and flush. So probably what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to make another lid for this and put little 1/8 inch rubber bumpers on the top here so that it does have a nice black lid again. I'm not sure. I might just put it completely flush. I'll probably make it a little bit smaller. On my last lid, I always had a gap right here to let, you know, hot air rise and come outside of the canopy. But there it is. So currently what I'm running right now on the XR15s, hold on, let me adjust my camera here and show you guys. Yeah, it's a little blue, not using a gel filter for this. But I am using the diffusers. Now when I first set up the Radions, I loved it. Awesome shimmer. I've been running T5s for 4 years and I liked the results, but the tank was always very like blah, I guess you could say, very stale. So these obviously put out ridiculously awesome shimmer, but I did see a little bit of a disco ball effect that was on the sand bed. Now that I have the diffusers, it is perfect. The shimmer is awesome. I'm glad I ended up getting those. Now, you can see here is the T5 bulbs. They're off right now. If I had them on, they'd kind of be blinding. The reflectors do have these little, you see how they're like that? So they spin with the bulb. So I used to run the T5s with Reefbrites, and I used to have my Reefbrites turned in on a slight angle. Well, that's essentially what I did. You can't really tell because this is turned. So that's what I did with these reflectors, is I turned them in on a slight angle. And so I made it so that this panel right here is flush horizontally. Right? So the light, I don't need the light to come straight down and hit up front here. The T5s put out a really good spread, and just these two bulbs, the whole tank is lit. I am going to be using the ATI Actinic Bulbs. I've used them in the past with my Blue Plus. Now I know a lot of guys are going to say use Blue Plus. They're the best. Well, I believe that the Actinic Bulbs actually grow coral faster than the Blue Plus. The Blue Plus make your tank really blue, which is what most of us like, a really blue tank. But with the Radions, I can adjust them. Oh, and by the way, the Radions, you guys know me, I'm not using an Apex. I don't have one. I don't know if I'm allowed to say it. I guess so. Well, I don't know. Anyway, Ecotech has something called Mobius, which is their own app for their products. And I've been, I did a tour with a couple guys a couple months ago, so I've been running Mobius for a while. And finally I got an Ecotech product to hook it up to. So that's what I'm using at the moment, is the Mobius. I'm sure you guys will find out about that, or I think it's going to be released in like a month or two, I'm not sure. But anyway, that's how I'm running those, and the T5s are running still on my old, you can see down here, these white boxes, those are those Wi-Fi surge protectors. I still got to tuck the wires up a little bit. It's a little messy because I've been, changing things around. Oof, it's actually not too bad, but yeah, I got to tighten them up with some Velcro. But that's it. I have the Radions coming on at noon. Or actually, no, they turn on at 11:45 a.m. and turn off at 10:15 p.m. The moonlights are running, I think, till about 11:15, and my ramp time is from 3 to 9. So from 3 to 9, it ramps up from 11:45 up to 3 p.m. From 3 p.m. to 9 p.m., it's at a steady high peak. There's no changes or anything within those 6 hours. And then from 9 to 10:15, it dims down and then turns completely off until it hits the moonlight cycle. And for now, I'm running the two T5s from 4:30 to 7:30. Eventually, I'm probably going to have them running from I don't know, probably the same setting as my high peak from the 3 to 9. I might just do something like 3:30 to 8:30. They don't put off too much power, I have been testing with the par meter. This is the Apogee par meter. This is the good one. I did test everything, each bulb by itself with no LEDs on. The sand bed is around, I think it was like 30 par, and the top of my rocks were at about 30 par. That's how T5s are. You don't really get much of a high-low light with these. So with both of them on, it was at about 55 par, 65 par, something like that, on top of my lights. So right about now, the top of the tank is at about 200, and the sand bed is at about 100, 110. I have been, doing my little chart. This is what I was running with just the Radions, no T5s at all. So, and by the way, this is a 90, not a 900. But it's my little diagram. So I'm going to be messing around with the par meter for another day, and so I can see where I'm at. I am going to change the Actinics out to Blue Pluses and see what I got a reading on. But when I did do a reading on one Actinic versus one Blue Plus, it was literally only about 15 par difference. So instead of the top of the rocks being 30 par, 35, it was around 45 tops. So I'm not really worried about these not putting out much light, because that's why I have the Radions now. If I need more light, I just turn them up. So, oh, and just to show you guys the little railing system that I made for the Radions, it's just an aluminum rail. I took the 1/8 inch thick angle iron aluminum and put ends on it, screwed it right to the side of the canopy, put a piece right here in the middle. And what I actually did is you can see this black right here, this is actually the Gorilla Tape. I just put it on, took a razor, cut it off real nice. So this way the Radion's not going to be getting scratched up. This is kind of like a little pad. It's like a nice duct tape. It's kind of like almost like rubbery. So there you have it. That's what the top looks like. and I'm extremely happy. You know, I'm really the only one that can see the top of the tank, and I don't mind it when I walk by it, but I do like it with a lid. So like I said, I'll probably make some kind of lid that hovers over top of these, maybe a 1/2 inch. I don't know, we'll see. It'll honestly probably just stay like this for quite a while. So that's it, everybody, and hope you enjoyed this little video on the new lighting. That's it. Actually, let's take a quick break and I'll show you guys what it looks like with them on. Alright, so here's what it looks like essentially. I do have the gel filter on, so they do look blue. You can see if I take them off, they kind of turn this weird bluish purple. But that's how actinic bulbs are. And yes, I'll show you guys right now in case you're like, oh, you're using those. Let me take the gel filter off so you can see maybe. There it is. It says actinic right there, so now you guys know what I'm using. That's it. Fix my little, there we go. And that's about it. And maybe we'll take a quick look at some new coral that I got. This is that Miami Vice Goniapora, and this is my new lime green Goni. Look at that. Oh! So that's it. See you guys in the next one. Alright, I just want to thank you guys again for stopping by. If you did like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And while you're here, hit that little crab icon to subscribe to my channel. Hit the notification bell for any future videos or updates. And in case you haven't seen these two videos, you might want to click on one and check it out. Again, thanks for stopping by.